This episode of The Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Netflix. Coming up, DC Comics comes to the small screen with the CW TV show Arrow.
So we are back in TV, the fall deluge of new shows popping out around the networks is happening. Today we're going to take a look at, a couple years ago we had a TV show called The Cape on NBC, which was very exciting. Prospect, which was
Totally forgot about
a comic book type superhero coming to a television network.
I thought you were going to relate this to
Smallville. Yeah, I thought you were going to say Smallville.
Well, so, yeah, but I think Cape more so just because Smallville was, the sort of teeny,
I think
Dawson's
this is
Creek
very
meets...
Smallville. It's also on
It's also a
not on
DC
network.
character.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, I mean, yes.
It's not trying... I think Cape was, trying to, Heroes or, Lost, more, but it's a superhero. Whereas this is
I didn't get the teeny bopper. I mean, this wasn't high school kids.
Wasn't high school kids featured in it, but...
No, I mean, there was one high school kid. Everybody else was sort of out of college. Anyway, so, yeah, Smallville was a little bit more Dawson's Creek meets Superman, and more Dawson's Creek than Superman, especially at the beginning, whereas I feel like this is more a superhero TV show where it's just you getting origin story straight out of the gate and Anyway, so Arrow is based on Green Arrow, right?
That's right.
The DC comic that
Oliver Queen.
follows young Oliver Queen, who is discovered on this deserted island. And you come to find out throughout the series, or throughout the pilot episode, that he was on his father's yacht. It actually reminded me a little bit of the Green Hornet story, the movie, where it was sort of like the young, punky billionaire kid who's sort of a playboy and doesn't give a crap and drinks and all that stuff on the yacht with his father.
He started out, the Green Arrow character back in the day started out as basically a ripoff of Batman.
I get that.
It was just like Batman with Robin Hood mashup.
Yeah. Still sort of there.
Yeah.
So anyway, ship crashes. He's now shipwrecked for 5 years on this crazy island, and then is discovered, comes back into the real world, and you learn mysteries of his past as well as the reasoning behind him now becoming the sort of Robin Hood-esque vigilante Green Arrow. So that happens. Daniel Trachtenberg-san, so what did you think of Green Arrow?
I actually went into it, I was watching it, feeling...
You didn't actually go in?
No, I might say that I didn't have this opinion before I watched it. I had this opinion formed while watching it.
Okay.
That, wow, it's interesting how this CW and, could turn... Are using something that has such male-oriented roots and shape it into something for women, the vampire Dracula, Vampire Diaries,
Xena Warrior Princess,
Smallville, even Hercules, forget Xena. It's interesting that
was back before the CW even existed.
Even though this isn't CW, but even Wonder Woman, it's interesting how these male-oriented properties are finding new life, perhaps, just with the teen boppery. That this show is playing, at least as I started watching it, plays on the good-looking guy walking around with no shirt.
There's also a lady in her lingerie in the very first 2 minutes.
Sure, but all the Vampire Diaries has that. That's the sexy sex relationship, but more that than Heroes. I will say, by the end of the pilot, there are some... Okay, let me just say this. The fight scenes were actually really cool.
Yeah.
Just looking at those fight scenes, and the guys seem to be doing a lot of it, I have to say. I think
they certainly could do a sit-up.
Very cool.
Well, there were a
casting.
couple.
Do a hell of a
Certainly could do crazy
but
pull-up things.
with the parkour stuff. I
Yeah,
was like, that looked like it was him.
It seemed like it was him.
Yeah.
Running and
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they made a point to
swooping
like
around.
put the camera on him.
Well,
at
that
some
could
of
have, that was
it.
back
Yeah,
of his
but-
head.
Back of
That
his
was
head.
weird.
It seemed like him.
But yeah, like so usually that's the worst part of that. Even in Buffy, at least for the first, glop of seasons.
I love that we saw you search for a word, and the word that you
Well, the
landed
first
on
word
was glop.
First
Did you guys
word I
hear
landed
that?
on was glop, and I couldn't come up with anything better. Yeah.
You know what? You got
Circled
glopped.
back around.
You got glopped.
Did you guys see that on Amazon? The first glop is like on sale for like $19.99 of
Yeah.
Buffy.
Yeah,
First glop, just the
Yeah.
first glop.
Yeah, I saw that. It's actually, you watched on Netflix instant. But anyway, usually there's like the fight scenes don't get short because it's a show they're shooting one a week. But the fight scenes were really good. But there was, I didn't really like the show that much, not for me. Still kind of felt like it wasn't A+ network or Showtime HBO kind of show. This felt like a CW thing, but which fits people's bills. But there was some interesting twisty-roos on roots of characters and dynamics. I kind of really like the relationship dynamic, him and the girl and the sister, and cheating, was a bad guy, was a douche. How they made him a douche, specifically how they made him a douche in the beginning of the series, and how he's still kind of becoming, has to be a douche for them. There's things about it that are cool, that if they were executed, if they were even going for A+ execution, would be good. I just don't think it's in the budget realm or in the scope of what they're even aiming for to fit my bill.
Right. Okay.
But I do think it's plugging a hole that people like being filled with arrows.
Dan
Hey,
Trachtenberg,
Dan
everybody.
Trachtenberg. This show is plugging a hole people like Phil.
It's cool. Like, there's cool. I would love to see a Green Arrow move. I mean,
The tennis ball thing, and he was
was
shooting
cool.
the arrows. I was
Cool.
like, he actually looks more like somebody who's shooting an arrow than almost every. Because Bo is hard to pull off.
gets me excited for the Hawkeye.
And very
movie.
big right now, the bows.
Yeah.
Bows,
Yeah, yeah.
the
Bo Jackson,
we have Bo.
Ty Bo, Carbo.
Yeah.
Oh, combo
Noise canceling
night.
headphones.
Yeah.
Anyway.
With our in a post.
Those.
We live in a post Hunger Game universe, boys.
This was probably in development pre-Hunger Games
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
but
Well,
So what did you think, Jeff? DC
Well-
comic,
Very hard for me not to come at this from that.
come at it.
I'm coming at it from that way. There's a lot of fun, juicy tidbits thrown in. I mean, the very first or second shot of the show on the island is the Deathstroke mask. So there's clearly been some stuff happening on that island that I think we're going to see flashbacks to of his training with Deathstroke, I assume. And that's awesome that you see the actual mask. It's like they're not shying away from that stuff. And of course, I don't know how much stuff you guys picked up on, but the girlfriend
Probably none.
is Black Canary. So she has the potential to become Black Canary. His best friend is Merlin, who's a classic Green Arrow
Even though I
villain
didn't-
/ trainer.
Even though I didn't know that stuff, the way they emphasize certain things in the show made it feel like
His
I
sister,
guess that's a reference.
His sister's Speedy,
Yeah, Speedy, yeah,
which
exactly.
is he never had a sister in the comic, but the little sidekick Red Arrow was called Speedy originally back in the day in the Golden Age. So it's cool that. And the crazy thing about that character in the comics is that it was one of the very first characters ever written with a drug problem. Like, that character gets hooked on heroin in the comics.
Wow, and they're kind of heading towards that.
Exactly. If she
Interesting.
has a drug problem, they call her Speedy. It's interesting that there's a lot of that juice there. And at one point, he opens this journal, and there's a list of names, and all of the names are classic Green Arrow villain characters.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I mean, that's what you want. That's what Smallville got into, which is the fun, like, oh, that
In the
person's going to
universe.
end up being somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, And this show really has a lot of that stuff already in play just in the pilot. So if you are a fan of the character from the comics, I think that you're going to be delighted by seeing all those wonderful
It's
hints dropped in.
interesting because as somebody who didn't know the comic, it's nice to know that there was that much fan service to the history of the comic.
And I think that the show is actually pretty decent. I echo what Dan was saying. It's like it's clearly not that top tier budgeted show, and it shows, that shows, but It's solid, and I think that people that like Smallville are going to find a lot to like here as well. My biggest complaint actually is the lead. I think I wish they had found somebody with a little more personality, and that may come as the series goes and you sort of get to know him a little bit better. He just felt a little dry and bland for me, but his supporting cast is pretty strong, and there's a lot of stuff going on here that is going to be interesting later on, and even his family, which is sort of invented, not really part of the comic.
Yeah.
There's some fun twists and interesting stuff going on there too.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with the design of his costume, and I'm not in love with him in general.
Yeah.
But I may grow, and it's.
Are you gonna watch it more?
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to earn DVR space in my household.
Well, you figure with all just the DC backstory alone should give you a little bit just to kind of see who shows up next. You know what I mean?
You know what it is, Jeff? It's what both of us are striving for. I think is this would be a very solid show if it came out when Smallville came out. In that era, Buffy, Angel, Smallville, like TV has progressed so much. This is still operating in Hercules, like this worked so well in that era, and everything functions that way. It's nothing like what we look at on TV today.
Yeah, it's not Breaking Bad.
It doesn't, or
I think, Boardwalk Empire,
or even Heroes, kind of. For a second.
It's better than Revolution. I'll say that.
Well, yeah. So, I was really surprised at how much I was able to enjoy this show. I really thought it was going to be a stinker all around. Was not looking forward to watching it. And I was a fan of Smallville, and have you seen Smallville?
Not really. I never watched it.
You should Netflix the first season.
Smallville?
You know why? Because it had that sort of Dawson's Creeky vibe to it, and I was like, I don't want them to do that to my Superman. And then everybody talked about how great it became, and I felt like I already missed out.
You should but go back and watch it. I mean, it's worth a watch because.
Dude, where can I get like the first glob of it?
The first glob's probably on Netflix.
You mean Glom? Or what did I say? Glop?
Glop.
You mean Glop?
You mean Glop. Glom.
Well, I don't want to go as far as getting the whole glob. I just get a glob.
But you should definitely check it out. And I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I actually did like the lead guy, though I agree with you that he was a little bit bland. I think if he had sort of channeled more Christian Bale in the Batman Begins party scene, or Dark Knight party scene, where he's kind of like, hey, I'm just a happy party guy.
I just want that Nathan Fillion sense of fun.
Yeah, but his character, I think that they're going for this guy's like effed up guy.
It's pretty special.
You know what I mean?
If he really was, if we're right.
I think he was.
And it looked like he was, and that is.
Well, even shooting the arrows,
He
I
is
mean, those weren't
dreamy, says
CG.
Dan.
Those weren't CG arrows like that. He actually was pulling that off, even if they were foam or whatever. But still, it's hard to do that kind of stuff. But anyway, so I was surprised. I think I'm gonna put it on my DVR just because of what you said about all the DC backstory stuff.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff.
Because that makes me believe that the people who were creating it and showrunning it and writing it are really going to try to do as much of the fan service to the DC stuff as they did in Smallville, which I'm very excited about.
The other cool thing is that his chauffeur guy.
Yeah.
Did you catch that his name is Diggle? Which is Andy Diggle, and Jock wrote Green Arrow Year One. So that's like a nice shout out.
The losers too.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what about the mom and the dude? Are they?
No, that's invented for the show.
Okay. Because it felt like it would have had history
That's
to
pretty
it.
cool. Anyway, Arrow. So who knew? Tonight, check it out.
Surprise!
Watchies. See what you think. Let us know. See you later. All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsors.
Netflix.
What?
Yep.
All right, thank you. We'll see you next week.
With more than 26 million members, Netflix is the world's leading internet subscription service for enjoying movies and TV programs. Members can instantly watch thousands of titles on a vast array of devices, streaming TV episodes of movies like Microsoft's Xbox 360, Sony's PS3. It'd be funny if, for some reason, I thought it was the opposite.
That would be so funny.
So crazy.
So I'm so glad
the whole world would be topsy-turvy.
Yeah, it would be crazy. The Nintendo Wii console, also, you can stream things, crazy enough, and your Apple devices, your Kindle, I guess the Fire, because...
It's on fire.
Yeah. And the Nook. There are no late fees or due dates.
I love that.
I'm just trying to remember. I was watching something on Netflix the other night, and I can't for the life of me remember. It was an 80s movie that I hadn't seen in a while, and I really wanted to watch it.
I watched a crazy documentary, if you haven't seen it, called The Wild Whites of West Virginia.
Yeah, we talked about it.
I thought we talked about the...
I recommended that, and you helped me remember that name. You had watched it on like Showtime or something. That is on Netflix.
Yeah, I just watched it again on Netflix the other day.
Right.
It's crazy.
But
I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time,
I'm just gonna say,
season 2 starts.
this is the reason to have it. Mountain tap dancing. Just leaving it at that.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like a party.
So as a new member and a TRS viewer, you can get a free 30-day trial membership. Go to netflix.com/TRS and sign up. Be sure to use this URL so that we sent you. They know that we sent you. I remember what I watched.
What was it?
FX2.
Oh, yeah, I loved FX.
Yeah. So
FX2 not so good though.
Not as good as FX.
I actually remembered liking FX2 more.
And yet, when you rewatched.
And yet, when I rewatched it, but the same could probably be said for FX. The coolest thing about FX2, by the way, can't believe it hasn't existed, is the thing that he built, the cool effect thing he built in the beginning that he used in the end, is the giant robotic clown that she gets into a suit, and every movement she makes, the clown also makes.
Yeah.
Like a mini but it's not like giant mech robot. It's like, yeah, we should be able to make that now. Where
I think they have those.
Do they?
Yeah, I think Henson uses them to make half of their shows.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never actually
They do it
seen
in
that.
animation too, where you can just move.
I guess
in
it's kind of
live
like
action.
Avatar. We're doing that in
exactly
CG.
like Avatar,
but in real life, though, I want to see.
It'd be really funny as if they made a new FX movie and it was all about digital effects. And he's like, all right, we're going to do this heist. Just watch. I did a lot of post-production on it. Just watch this.
That's
Fake
awesome.
explosions
That's awesome.
projected on things.
Cool people, have a good day.
Join us tomorrow for What Is That?
Today's Twitter question sent in with the hashtag TRSQ was sent in from @_justice, who says, it's always fun seeing me, Jeff Kanata, at Public Storage. This picture right here, I was young and I needed the money, did a little modeling work, if you can call it that. Yes, it's now will be forever used for some reason.
Audio-only listeners are really excited about what you're talking about.
It's on all the Public Storage ads, and I got paid not a lot of money for this, and they're going to use it in perpetuity. But he asks, based on me whoring myself out for that, what other oddball jobs have you guys had?
I had one along the same lines as that when I first moved to LA. Same kind of thing, just wanted to get a gig, was any acting gig is a gig early on, you know what I mean? And I got paid not a lot of money, but not only was it in something like this, but it was for stock footage that could be used in anything. So there was a lot of DeVry college ad, because it was all just weird high tech. It was like in an office. I was on a Razor scooter with a cool backpack.
I remember that.
It was like just
showed us
random
that.
doing stuff. I think I had a Palm at one point. You know what I mean? Like I was just
My friend Dave, who you guys have met,
I agree with those science terms. I mean,
he just got achievement unlocked because he did a series of stock footage photos, and one of them was used as the picture in an Onion article. He was like the guy in an Onion article. That's like achievement unlocked. He was like, that's the greatest day of my life.
Yeah, that's funny.
And there are lots of other. The Public Storage is the least of my problems. If you guys find there's some things that I've done, catalogs and crap that is out there.
I would like to find
An iPhone ad.
Yeah.
That's right, David Taylor. When I was a kid, I did a paper route, but after that I did the, when you open your door and there's like coupons stuffed inside it?
Yeah.
I did that for a local pizza place.
You just stuffed
I would
coupons all
stuff
day?
walk all for
Yeah,
6
listen to your
hours.
headphones and just.
Headphones didn't
I
exist
don't
then.
think. Yeah, I don't think I had that then.
He had his boom box up on his
But I just remember like the incentive was we got a little bit of money and we could either choose to have more money or free lunch.
Less money.
Free lunch at the pizza place.
So what did you
It was always difficult. I was just like, what am I? But was I spending
many
money on
pizza
like
dollars
magic
did you-
cars? Yeah, so I got we get pizza. We'd all have pizza.
Nice.
It was me and a bunch of other kids.
I feel for
Nice.
that right now.
That
I
sounds
wish
like
this
justice.
job gave us pizza.
I do too right now. I'd eat it.
Thanks, Justice.